Hey everyone, it's Darren Jacklin here. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, in Canada here, it's Holiday Monday today. I believe it's Victoria Day. So I'm out this afternoon out here in nature here in beautiful North Vancouver. British Columbia, Canada, here in a place called Lynn Valley. Those of you familiar with Vancouver, you'll know where Lynn Valley is. I'm clearly out here hiking right now. I'm just thinking, I love being in nature. Spending quality time with myself and grounding myself and reflecting, de-stressing myself. Sometimes we have very hectic lives, right? And as I'm just sitting here reflecting on my life, just meditating, I'm present to how much time do I spend with myself. Now, we live in this meat suit, this skin bag of a body, and we're with it for our entire lifespan here on the planet. But really, how much time do we invest just being with ourselves? So something I want you to consider and I want you to ponder this week is how much self-care time do you take for you? Really think about that, self-care time. You see, if you don't schedule it in your calendar, it's probably not going to get done. It's not a high priority to you. And until someone like myself gets you to think about it or expands your mindset into doing something like this or opens the door for you and said, hey, I was watching this video with Darren Jacklin, he says, I should do this. So consider in your life this week of taking on a new opportunity. I have an invitation for you. I want you to consider finding something that will work for you. Whether it's spending time out in nature, it's going to a yoga class or a Pilates class, maybe it's going to a church or a temple or a synagogue, it could be a Bible study, it could be doing some humanitarian or volunteer or philanthropy work, it might be sitting in a bathtub with some candles and some nice music, reading a good book, it might be going to a dance class, might be doing some basket weaving or poetry, might be doing some, dance moves or martial arts. Whatever it is for you, whatever gives you that relaxation. Some of you may have a bonfire or a campfire, or you have a natural gas fireplace in your home, or lighting candles and just being present, playing some classical music, right? Or playing some nice, beautiful, inspiring music in the background, or going to see a live concert, live performance. Or for some of you, maybe it's going for a romantic walk, having a beautiful dinner, cooking something on the barbecue. Maybe it's going for a walk in your community park or somewhere where you live. Maybe it's going out of your comfort zone and going to a different part of the city, riding the subway or the transit system. Maybe it's even, packing a picnic basket and going to a different part of your province or state or community where you live or village where you live. See, there's so many wonderments of opportunities that we have. And for some of us, we live such busy lives. We're busy being busy. And then we come to the end of our lives and we live in this thing called the chair of regrets or the chair of no regrets. You see, the chair of regrets for most people, and if you look at people who are employees that work in palliative care units of hospitals or senior care facilities, whoa, just sat down on a log and it just moved big time. Anyways, if you talk to these men and women, they will tell you that when people are in hospice or palliative care, in the last few hours, few days, few weeks, few months, a few years of their life, that some reflect back on their life and they look at all the wish I should have, could have things they've done. They have this chair of regrets that they sit in. And other people live in this chair of no regrets, that they live life to the fullest. They played full out, whatever that means to them in their life, on their terms. See, every one of us, of the billions of people that are on this planet Earth, we're all up to a different game in our life. We all have a different hierarchy of values. We all have different belief systems. We all have different life experiences. We all have different realities. It's really quite fascinating. If you get around people in a group and you do some experiential training and development in a workshop or a seminar over a few days, you will find out that when you're with people, yeah, there's some common interests and there's ways to build rapport and there's some likes and there's some interest and there's some really interesting cultural differences, personality styles, values and beliefs, life experiences, upbringings from their childhood coming up, their environments. And like myself, who's well traveled around the world, been to many countries on different continents, I love traveling. you different experiences because you're meeting with different people from all different walks of humanity, different cultures. You know, I've worked in professionally in career where I've been with the most impoverished people on planet Earth to the most affluent, most wealthiest, most rich class people of society, the billionaires and the multi-billionaires, and I've been with those, and I've been with people who you know, have no economic value in terms of financial resources, but they barter and trade around the world. And so it's quite fascinating when you get a whole different perspective, a different sampling of people from all walks of humanity, and yet we're all just wanting to get through life and get to the end of life and the afterlife, whatever that means for you. We all have a different definition or a different interpretation or different perspective or different point of view. And so it's quite fascinating, really, and the more I study in my life, the less I know about the world. It's really quite fascinating. The more I study, the less I know, you know, because we don't know what we don't know. And think about that for a moment. We don't know what we don't know, right? So it's like snorkeling or scuba diving. You know, you may travel, you go hiking, you go biking, you go camping, you go boating, you go holidaying, and then all of a sudden you take up snorkeling or scuba diving and there's this whole new world in the oceans around the world. And then you get into the caves underwater, and then you get into, you know, skydiving at 10,000 feet. Then you get into hot air ballooning. And then you might get into aviation, private aircraft, or hobby aircrafting, where you're up in an airplane, right? And then, you know, some people around the world right now who are very visionary type people are developing, you know, rockets to go into space in the coming years. So we live in this fascinating universe, this fascinating planet here in this global village today, that we can be anywhere pretty well on planet Earth and be connected through mobile phone devices, through internet communication. It's fascinating. It's going so fast at such a high rate of speed and execution. So take time for yourself in this busy life that we live, and there's lots of peaks and valleys, and it's a roller coaster. At times, you know, you're either coming from a problem, you're in a problem, or you're heading towards a problem. I'll say that again if you're taking notes. You're either coming from a problem, you're in a problem, or you're heading towards a problem. So self-care is very important. Take time for you. This week in your calendar, in your day timer, your day planner, schedule some self-care time, some me time. I do this every day of my life. It's non-negotiable in my life. Nothing gets on my calendar when it comes time to my self-care time. It's just a boundary that I've set. It's the terms that I live on in my life. And I used to feel shame and guilt for doing this, right? Something else that would come up. I'd get a phone call, you know, get a text message, a family member, a friend, a relative, a close buddy of mine would call me, and they're going through a crisis in their job or their career or their business or their relationship life, or something's going on. They're in a meltdown or breakdown in their life. And I would drop that and then run to them. And now what I do is I set my boundaries. When it comes to self-care time, when it comes to taking time for myself, when it comes to dreaming and visualizing, things like that, I take care of myself first. You know, it's like in the commercial airline industry, they say when you get board in a commercial airplane, they say, you know, when they're doing the flight emergency preparation instructions, they say, in the event of emergency, if the oxygen mask deploys from above you, the first thing you're supposed to do is put on the person beside you, right? No, wrong answer. So let's put on your mouth first, so then you can assist the, you know, your children or a close person that's in proximity to you as a passenger on the plane with you. So, next steps. Here's your assignment. This week, I want you to schedule some self-care time. Whatever it means for you on your terms. You set the boundaries in this. But schedule something. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes. Listen, some of you got 4 or 5 kids, you've got 2 or 3 full-time, part-time jobs. Some of you are studying right now in school. We've got lots going on. You got hobbies, some of you are volunteering. We've all got busier, productive lives. I get that. But one thing that we have in common, no matter where you live on the planet today, no matter what walk of humanity you come from, guess what we all have in common? 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a calendar week, 168 hours in a calendar week. We all have the same amount of time. So it's an excuse if you say I don't have the time. It's that you don't value yourself much. So set the boundaries, set the terms, do some self-care time for you. Whatever it is, take a yoga class, go Pilates, go for a walk, go for a ride on your bike, go golfing, right? Go for a walk in a park, down by the lake, the river, the ocean, whatever it is. Whatever you really, really, really want to do on your terms. And there's so many things you can do that don't cost any money. There's so many things. And if you want to spend some money on yourself, go do it. Go get a massage. Go get some reflexology. Go do some Reiki, right? Whatever it is. Whatever it is for you that inspires you, that makes you feel good, that takes care of you, that recharges you and re-energizes you. Me, this is my playground. Being out here in nature, You know, Cleo, he's having the time of his life. He's out checking everything out. So funny yesterday. I wish I could have filmed this. Yesterday he had a confrontation with a squirrel, a ground squirrel. Anyways, he was out doing his thing, and he chased a squirrel up a tree, which I don't like, right? Because it's a squirrel's yard. It's his playground. Anyways, the squirrel came back down the tree and was just chirping at him, moving his tail viciously. And Cleo's barking at the squirrel, and they're having this conversation. And I should have filmed it. It would have been funny to really see. But anyways, there's this dog and this squirrel having a confrontation. And I can just imagine the squirrel telling Cleo off, you know? So it's really cool. Anyways, I'm going to run, enjoy myself, take some more self-care time. Hope you enjoy this video. If you really feel value in this video, then share it, like it, put some hearts, repost it. If you want to learn more about me, maybe you got this video shared to me like, who the heck is this Darren Jackson guy sitting out in the forest here right now, you know, talking to you about some things that nobody ever talks to me about, gets me to stretch my mindset and contribute to my life, and gets me thinking about things I've never thought of before, no one's ever had this conversation with me before. You can do some research or due diligence on me and just go to DarrenJacklin.com. That's www.darrenjacklin.com. You can find out more information about my background. Have yourself a great week, everyone. Schedule some self-care time. Be grateful always. Remember, so many people believe in you. Make sure you're one of them.